All right, questions for Tobe, Anthony, and Jaden.
How special was it? How does it feel to play your last game at McHale Center?
Just blessed to be in this position. Grateful for the coaches, the staff, everybody that's been a part of the journey. Didn't have to take me here, and excited that we, did what we did today. Big 12 regular champions, and just grateful for the opportunity.
For anybody, Coach Lloyd said that Iowa State is, quote, a pain in the ass to play against. Maybe in the past, you guys had some struggles against teams like that. Not the case this year or tonight. Do you feel like you've gotten tougher over the last 2 years of being in the Big 12, more physical?
Yeah, for sure. I think this league forces you to test yourself day in and day out. And there's such a dynamic, amount of teams with different play styles. So, you're going to get tested all throughout. And I think it's a great, sort of preparation period, conference season for March as well. So I think, we've taken some hits, last year, this year. But I think I'm just proud of the way that we bounced back and the way that we've been able to just sort of galvanize as a group.
How happy are you guys to have Dwayne back and to make such a big impact after being out a couple games?
Yeah, he's great. Obviously, what he went through and to be able to step up and come in, against one of the best teams, it's pretty special. He had a lot of big plays and he got the crowd going for sure, and that was, exciting to see for him.
Yeah, that just shows, his character. Always, ready when your name's called. I feel like that dunk was probably one of the biggest plays in the game. Just crash the offensive glass and, get the crowd going. So it definitely was a game changer.
This is for whoever. If you could talk about the impact Crievis has defensively in the title for you guys, one, and two, how improved he's come from September to now.
Yeah, he's a tremendous force. Just the way that, he's able to move his feet at that size, and, he's so strong, which I think is something underrated about him. He's a force, and a lot of the times he's saving our behinds, when we get beat. And he's down there saving it, you know what I mean? So he's a tremendous, have on this team, and sort of the unsung hero of this team, you know what I mean? He's been a rock throughout the whole season, and, I feel like he should get his flowers way more. But, obviously he's coming off injury last year, and just the way that he's been able to work and grind to get himself to, prepare for the season, and then just to grow and build, throughout the whole season. It's been, incredible to watch, and it's just a testament to who he is as a player.
As time at Arizona comes to a close, what do you want the Tucson community, the fan base to remember about you, but more importantly, kind of just this team and the journey that you all have been on?
I feel like people have a good sense of how much we like each other and how much we enjoy being around each other, off the court, on the court. That's something that's special that, you see later on when you get through March, and people say it after they're winning, but I think this team has a genuine care for each other. And you can see it on the court. No one cares about stats. No one cares about minutes. It's just pure joy for winning, and that's something we've been able to keep going strong all year.
This question is for any of you. What's one piece of advice you would give to an upcoming freshman who's coming to the team next year?
I would just say serve the game. Do everything the right way, and it's going to treat the game's going to treat you well. Come work every day. Find your older guy. Push him. He knows a lot of the tools and stuff. So just be a sponge, learn, and just give it your all.
How long do you guys allow yourselves to enjoy this before you start focusing on the rest of what's going on that you want in March?
I think it's just about staying in the moment, appreciating it. Don't take it for granted, obviously. We get a ring, we get to cut nets down, and we get to do it on our home floor. But I would say don't get drunk off the feeling, you know what I mean? We still want the big one, obviously. But again, this is one of the milestones we've been looking, forward to from the beginning of the season, and we've achieved it. So, I think we should give ourselves a pat on the back, but don't get stuck in the moment. We still got work to do. So.
Dale, you've been on a tremendous heater the last 2-3 weeks. What's been the difference from you?
I think it's credit to my teammates. Firstly, they've never lacked belief in me or confidence. And that's another credit to this team. I'm able to do what I can do, whether I'm playing good, bad, whatever. These guys will always understand what I bring, and vice versa to them. That's something that has helped me through the year, the ups and downs. Obviously, coaches, putting the work in, just staying positive. I know what I can do. I know how good I am at certain things, and just trusting it. Some nights it goes, some nights it doesn't. You can't get so down that you can't get back out.
How has it felt though? Because, it's a weight off your shoulder, or how does it feel?
I mean, it feels great, obviously, to play better. It feels unbelievable, and to keep winning. I think that's the best thing. When I can have a stretch where it wasn't the best, and we're still winning, that's the best feeling. That shows how good we are. It can be anyone's night, any night. It makes teams really hard to scout us because we have so many guys that can do so many things. That was the best thing. I mean, I can sit here and be, in a hole and worry about myself, but we're still winning. So, I got to be the best teammate I can.
Jaden, you've been consistent all year, I know, but did you even feel 3 years here, last time out, and McHale, any more sense of urgency, or just wanting to really, a little different tone to this for you or anything?
Just grateful to be here. I wouldn't be here without my teammates. They make it so much easier for me. Tobe cleaning up the rebounds, Mo cleaning it up, Delly just being a threat out there. So I'm just a little piece to the puzzle, and grateful to just be in this position and playing in front of McHale.
You were part of that team that won the last Pac-12 title. How does that compare to this year?
Quite honest, I don't even remember that one. I don't. But I'm going to remember this one. Big 12, best conference in college basketball right now. Just doing it with my brothers, just know the stuff we talked about before the season, it's clicking. But, March is a special month in basketball. We still got a lot of room to go.
This question's for all three of you. If your time at McHale or playing at McHale is over, what was your guys' favorite game to play here?
Ooh, that's a good question, actually. I think the one that comes to mind is when we played Iowa State last year. Caleb winning that shot. That's probably the loudest I've heard McHale, since I've been here. Another whiteout game, so I think that was just a surreal environment to be a part of.
Yeah, I'll probably say, coincidentally, both Iowa State games, last year and this year. It's pretty hard to top a win and get the championship outright.
Nah, yeah, for sure. Same thing. I mean, that shot that Caleb hit, that's classroom stuff, March basketball stuff. You see, you don't get to witness that in person. So, it was crazy.
My greatest assist.
How's your ankle? Did any lingering, anything with that, or is it past you now at this point?
It's great. J-Rock, Melly, all the guys in the training room, they're the best. I've never seen anyone like them. Obviously, to go through what I went through only a week ago, they've been able to speed run me, and it feels great. I wouldn't be able to play at all if it wasn't for those guys.
You said you did 15 hours a day or something on that Texas trip.
Yeah, basically, the Houston game was at 2. We probably got back at around 5, and it was straight to it. He was in the hotel room 24/7. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the road. That whole 5-day trip, I can't thank J-Rock enough and all those guys. They seriously took me from no chance to I'm 110%.
I was wondering, did you ever think it could keep you out for a game or anything, or have any doubts about it?
Nah, I basically just listened to J-Rock and did everything I could, and just not try to get psych myself out on the feelings. He's got a repertoire for these sort of things, and his resume on building that is unbelievable. So I just trusted him.
For anybody, he wasn't the only one who guarded Jefferson, but Koa was on him a lot, and Jefferson ended up 2 for 17 in this game. What did you guys think of Koa's defense in that matchup?
Koa's, great on both ends of the floor, and it showed tonight to take on, that matchup. It's a tough matchup. He's physical, can step out, shoot a 3, but hats off to Koa, paid attention to the scout. That was a tough task, and he did a great job.
These games, the last few that you've played, just the kind of gauntlet you've had, maybe they feel more like March games, and as the stakes elevate, the young guys on your team, how do you just kind of use these experiences to help them understand what it feels like to get into the tournament here in a couple weeks?
Yeah, I think that's the whole sort of thing about playing the Big 12. It does get you ready for March, and I think during this last stretch, we've played some pretty aggressive teams that sort of try to get you rattled in the beginning of the game, trapping the ball screen, super handsy on defense. So, I think that that bodes well for March. You know what I mean? When we're in, high-level environments, both teams' crowds are going crazy. We've been tested. You know what I mean? We've been trapped before. We've been swarmed before. We've been doubled in the post before. So I think again we're just building a repertoire to make our best push in March.
One more question for the guys.
I was just wondering for Deli and Tobe, both you guys, took these roles, being starters last year, playing off the bench. I know Tobe, you said something about early that you knew what Tommy was trying to build. Did you think it would be like this? It would come out as well as it has?
I mean, I didn't really look too far down this line, but I knew that if we put the right pieces in place, we could do something special. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I just trust the coach to the max. I know his character as a person and as a coach, and there's nobody else, coaching-wise, I would want to put my trust in when it comes to that kind of stuff. And he's always looked out for me as a person, as a player. So I didn't really, I didn't really think twice about doing that, in the beginning of the season.
Deli, your thoughts on that? Just kind of how your role fit into the way this team worked out?
Yeah, it's at the start, it's definitely interesting because it's something you never I've never been through in my life. So it's like I didn't know what to expect. But like Tobe said, like we know coach and we know what the team has and what we can bring, and he trusts us to the max. He doesn't care about what the stats say or what like the lineup says or anything like that. He just puts you in there and he instills the most confidence in you and tells you to go out there and have fun and kill it. And I think it's been great for our team. I think like me watching Tobe, the way he attacks it and the way he accepts that role and he's able to turn it into his own thing. I mean, I think that's huge for our team, and it takes out so much ego and so much selfishness and all those feelings that can bring a team down. So a guy like Tobe that can just accept that so well and thrive off it, it's helped our team tremendously.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.